what do you think from a Canadian perspective? We know on the American side we're going to remember Jack Hughes scored. I think we'll remember Hellebuck played great. If we move 10 years into the future and someone's going to ask you in 2036, hey, what do you remember about that gold medal game from Canada's perspective? What do you think we're going to remember?
Don't let teams linger. Don't let teams stick around. You got to get your foot on their throat and end it. You know, a lot of talent on the other side. You know, all it takes is one. You let a team hang around like that, and we see it all the time in the National Hockey League too. A team's playing great, but they're letting the other team kind of stick around, hang around long enough, and ultimately it's going to bite you. You know, your goaltender's not as active as maybe the other goalie. They're not feeling it, and all of a sudden they get you have a quick breakdown, and the next thing you know, it's in the back of your net, and you're like, what just happened? And so, I think for them, as I was saying earlier, you're heartbroken, you're crushed, you can't believe what just happened after the game that they played. But it also was, it's on them. They weren't able to score enough goals. They lost. Like it is what it is. So they have to live with that for 4 more years. 2 until the World Cup, and even if they win that, the Americans, they're going to be like, oh, but we got the gold, and they're going to be lording that over them. So, yeah, absolutely. And so, I think for these next 4 years, every single year when there's some type of Canadian event, they have to make it a point to absolutely rub the Americans' nose in it. That has to be the mindset and the mentality, that you have to get back your swagger. You have to get back how we used to go into these tournaments and want to crush that team and just take the life from them. And I haven't seen that in a while.
So, Chris, is there any takeaway, like we don't need a State of the Union in Canada type of thing as far as, hockey type of thing, or is it more just a reset? Like, what would you were talking about some of your biggest takeaways here. Is it as simple as, hey, we need to kind of knuckle down and go back at it, or is there adjustments that need to be made maybe right from the top or whatever from an attitude standpoint to kind of get back in it?
I think it's more attitude, but I don't know one person, anybody who has a clue about hockey that watched that game and said, wow, the Americans looked really good. Not one person is going to say that. Outside of their goaltender, who was all-world. Outside of that, there's no way anybody's going to say that. But at the end of the day, it's about scoring goals and wins and losses, and they lost. So do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? No, but you have to look at the landscape of, in this case, professional hockey, but hockey in general, and be like, every other country is catching up. We can't sit back and just rest on our laurels and think we're just going to be able to skate through it all, and there's going to be no adversity. There's not going to be, no other issues coming our way. We have a lot of good young players coming in the pipeline, but it's this and it's this right here that in my opinion, we need to strengthen, and that needs to be the core of our team, the foundation of our team moving forward, because it used to always be that.
How much of that was depleted because Crosby didn't play?
Yeah, I think a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's playing on the third line. Like, he's adding more depth, and he might have scored. Like, we can go back. They had guys that didn't play too. Like, no,
I understand, but I guess what I'm asking,
this guy was hurt, that guy was hurt. From a leadership perspective, I think a little bit, but he was still around. He just wasn't on the bench and on the ice. What would he have made a difference? He might have. But I mean, if you're Canada, you can't be walking around going, "Yeah, but Crosby didn't play."
Right.
That's a loser's mentality.
Not when you
accept what happened and go fix it.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
that's what I'm asking is, like, is it the swag and the mentality and the attitude, is it something that's got to equally permeate through everyone, or is it really got to be the main guy or main guys that do it? And if so, we know who we're talking about here. The elephant in the room is it's McDavid, McKinnon, and really McDavid, I guess, at the forefront. Like, he's the guy. How do they find that in 4 years?
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think he put too much pressure on himself? Do you think they put too much pressure on themselves, thinking that they're going over there for business, they're going over there to win gold, they're going to stay in a hotel versus go hang out in the village, they're going to do everything like solely for this one thing, and when they don't get it, what happens? When they face adversity, they didn't play great against Czechia. They won. They played pretty well against Finland, albeit Finland sat back for 40 plus minutes. It just, to me, it felt like there was already a ton of pressure on them with the NHL. Same thing as '98 with the NHL players going to the Olympics. There was already an inordinate amount of pressure added to this environment, and then you're just adding more fuel to the fire by, saying that you don't have to say all those things. It's we know you want to win gold. We all want to win gold. Like it just, to me, it seemed like a little much.
So Chris, you make a great point, but how has that changed? Like, we know, you look at the fiber of some of these players. I mean, McDavid's all business. McKinnon, they interviewed him. He's like, I don't care about having fun. I'm here for business. Like, a lot of these guys are just wired that way. I mean, you see other guys and they're drinking whiskey and laughing it up and that. Like, is it the way you select your team? You need certain individuals that maybe lighten the room? Do you need different types of things, the way you build your team? I read something about the way that Team USA built their team, and it was a tongue-in-cheek comment. They wanted a bunch of whiskey drinkers in there, guys that enjoy themselves and enjoy being around each other. Like, is that what it comes back to with the attitude and kind of the swagger type of thing? Like, how would you change that if you're talking about the top players putting so much pressure on themselves?
Well, I think it goes back to, and you just hit it. What identity are you trying to create with this team? Are we no longer that Rock'em Sock'em Team Canada? Are we going to be this run and gun team? Is that the new identity for Canadian hockey? Or are we going to be able to face adversity head on and run over our opponents at times if we need to? That becomes the question for me, because there are so many countries catching up, and U.S. is certainly the biggest. You could argue that they're now parallel with us with the skill and talent that they are producing. So it's interesting, because we're not having this conversation if they score a goal up at 3-on-3, or they score one of those empty net goals. We're not even talking about this. We're talking about how great they played. So,
right.
As quickly as you want to pounce on them and say, "Oh my God, they're terrible," they weren't. I thought they played fantastic. They made a couple mistakes, and those mistakes were in the back of their net.